Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I own a valuation company in St. Louis, Missouri. I have the privilege of discussing nonprofit organizations, accounting, strategic planning, and management today with Tosha Anderson, a CPA and nonprofit accounting expert in St. Louis, Missouri. I think another thing that people get a little bit confused on, and they think that nonprofits are only focused on fundraising. But what do you see as some of the, an additional biggest concern in this nonprofit sector?
Yeah, I think we think about fundraising in the sense of thinking about that public charity that everybody makes donations, crowd fundraising. And since I've been working with nonprofits, which has been about 15 years now, more and more nonprofits are operating with an entrepreneurial mindset, meaning they're looking for ways to earn revenue and not simply rely on fundraising dollars. As you would imagine, losing funders or with the stock market changing pretty significantly to the positive or the negative, it can create a lot of volatility in their ability to continue their programming. So more organizations have focused on diversifying their revenue, oftentimes with earned revenue. Some have received contracts or competed with contracts for-profit businesses, particularly government contracts for different public services. They've created either special events or they've diversified their marketing to not simply being the mailers or the annual reports that they sent out with, what essentially looks like an offering envelope that you have to send back. Many are targeting digital marketing. They're looking for crowd fundraising. They're looking for sponsorships. They're really diversifying what they're doing. So of course, revenue is really important, but also being really intentional on their expenses. And one of the things that I do, some of my favorite clients are those that are really entrepreneurial in the sense of how can we work as efficiently as possible. So investing in things that are going to save a tremendous amount of man hours, time, energy. And it's kind of interesting how much automation and integration some of my nonprofit clients have had or used within their ongoing operations, and how that might be different, certainly different from some of their government sources. Just comparing what they prepare internally with how they have to report, it's so significantly different because nonprofits know in order to compete, they have to stay relevant. They have to use technology. They have to integrate things. So they're managing to the expenses and finding the smartest way to do things and being resourceful as possible. So I think they're focused on a lot of things right now. In addition to just the normal operations of how do you bring money in and how do you spend money, more and more donors are asking for quality outcomes. And that's something that I think people underestimate what that looks like. I used to be a CFO of a nonprofit, and we put together all of the contracts that we had, which were 14 different government contracts, and we listed all of the outcomes that we had to report on at some point during the year. And we had 4 pages front and back with a reasonable font size too, of different outcomes that we had to report on. 4 pages front and back of the different outcomes. So I think people don't realize the level of accountability. I know that word transparency is a buzzword right now in the industry, but really it's not just transparency on the numbers, it's also transparency on the programs and what are they doing and what are they expecting to do. So nonprofits are really trying to juggle all of the known and standard, compliance and reporting requirements that they're subject to, but how do they constantly pivot and adapt to the significant changes in the outcome reporting? Everybody wants something different. They want to report in a different way. And the best way to do that is through technology. So we've seen a huge shift in that space too.
Well, and I think that because one of it is bringing the money in. The second is how you spend it and how you're efficient with it. And, for a firm like yours, or any accounting firm, you can come in and just do the simple, check this box and okay, here's your tax return and go on your way. But you guys offer a little bit more in helping really these nonprofits be successful, which is a little different than just offering accounting services.